Do you have issues trusting the universe, trusting that your manifestations are coming, trusting people in general? You probably do because we all do, really. It's a difficult planet to trust on for sure. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down a few different things very clearly. I'm going to be going over one of the core reasons why we all have such a hard time trusting, and it comes down to being misunderstood as children. Then I'm going to be getting into what you can do to begin to cultivate trust in yourself, in the universe, in your manifestations. And then toward the end of the video, I'm going to be doing an activation to really help you align with that feeling of trust so that you can call in the life that you want in all ways. My name is Adam. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Before we get started for today, I just want to let you know that I'm doing some free breakthrough calls. There's a link pinned in the comments section below. So just real briefly, what's a breakthrough call? So this is a 30-minute call where we get on Zoom and I just help you go over your vision for your life with you. We get into what you want to create, what you're looking to manifest, and then I help you go underneath the surface and find the things that are blocking and stopping these things from aligning. And then I help you to troubleshoot some different options or tools that you can develop to really begin to iron the whole thing out and align and harmonize with your highest vision. Okay, so before I get into one of the root causes of why we have a hard time trusting, I want to ask your subconscious mind a question. So just give it permission for a second to kind of sort through some things. On this planet, why would you trust? And when you ask that question to yourself, just kind of notice what comes up. Because your mind will have a billion reasons why you shouldn't trust. And there's a lot of good ones in there. Before we can really clear what's in the way and align with something better, we have to acknowledge all the parts of us that are resisting something, because a lot of them have very good points. The trick to anything, especially on this planet, is discernment. That's knowing like where to place something and when and where not to. And so I would invite you, maybe when this video is over or later today or tomorrow or sometime, to just kind of make a list of all the reasons you come up with why you can't. And it's important to acknowledge those. I mean, a few where it's an incredibly violent world. Pretty much everything is lying to us. The media is lying to us all the time. The politicians are lying to us. So we're taught from a very young age we're not safe and it's not healthy to trust anything. But there are some things you can, and I'm going to get into that a little bit later. But first, I want to get into one of the root causes of why we as humans have such a difficult time trusting. And that comes down to being misunderstood. So how many times or how much of your life have you spent feeling misunderstood? Could be by your friends, could be probably by your parents or your family. Many of us who are on a spiritual path, working on ourselves, we incarnate into families a lot of times that just simply don't get us. Our teachers don't get us. So where did you feel misunderstood as a child? And I want to break this down a little bit, because what happens is, say you want to manifest something. Okay, one of the things that you have to do is you have to trust and believe that it's going to come, but you also have to trust and believe that the universe is hearing and understanding you. But if your parents never heard or understood you, and if your friends or your teachers never really heard or understood you, you're going to project that onto the universe. That's what I do. I've spent like so many years trying to manifest, and when I manifest, what I'll do is I'll feel like I have to like explain again and again and again and again and again and again what I want, because I'm talking to the universe as if I was talking to my mother or I was talking to a teacher. So be very wary of that. So where were you misunderstood? Like, when did you get in trouble for something that you didn't do? Or maybe you got in trouble and maybe you did do something, but your side of the story just wasn't heard. This is what happens. Like, we feel like we're not seen clearly because we're generally not. And you want to start to begin to like feel in your body where these patterns are and where the beliefs of like I'm not gotten. Nobody gets me. Like, were you the black sheep in your family? Were you left out as a child or as a teenager in social situations? Did people think you were weird? Because what we do is we develop this whole like perception and identity with like, nobody understands me. And then we think that the universe doesn't understand us. And then that comes into our manifestation ability. Now, something that is important to understand here is that on some level, nobody will ever fully see you clearly. And that's okay. Now, I'm not saying you can't manifest people that do see you and do understand you, where you feel like this deep sense of connection and like where people get you and you found your tribe. You can. But all in all, we are all just each other's projections. So we're the projection of the person who's looking at us. Every person that you meet is simply your idea of who they are. Now, that may kind of line up to a decent extent with like maybe traits, belief systems, patterns, emotions, things that they actually really do exemplify, or it could be completely off, which kind of is where a lot of limerence sort of patterns come into. But all in all, you're still seeing what you believe to see or what you want to see from the other person. So it's very important to understand that. Another key point to understand is before anyone can see you clearly, and before the universe can see you clearly, you have to see yourself clearly. We have to know what it is that we really believe in, what it is that we truly value, what it is that we really love, who we really are. Now, there's two levels to that. There's the personality level, where you have, certain things that you really enjoy, certain things that you highly value, certain things that you like to do, certain ways about yourself that you like to be seen. It's important to understand that there is an authenticity to this, but it also can always change and evolve. But it's even deeper, knowing who you truly are and seeing yourself clearly as a spiritual being is really just seeing all aspects of you as some form of love, knowing that you are a spiritual being having a human experience. And part of the gift of that is the freedom to choose what you like, to choose what you don't like, and to know that that's always changing. In order to get there, you want to find your authenticity, which means what truly resonates with you in each moment. And in order to do that, you kind of have to go through your childhood and clear out all the cobwebs and imprints of what other people wanted for you or who they thought you should be. So when we begin to see ourselves clearly by acknowledging what it is that we really like, what we don't like, saying no when we don't want to do something and we can, we gain more clarity about ourselves. And when we gain more clarity about ourselves, we gain more clarity about who we want in our life and who we don't. And as we see ourselves more clearly, it's easier for us to begin to trust ourselves because we know who we are, which leads me to trusting. So one of the really important things with trusting, again, is the discernment between knowing that a lot of the lack of trust that we've had comes from not being seen clearly, being misunderstood, from trauma, and from living in a world that is just completely chaotic. And it's releasing that. But the next step to really cultivating trust is to understand the differentiation between all the nonsense in the world, all the chaos, all the trauma, and a higher form of intelligence. So if you're watching this, you probably have some level of a spiritual connection, or you're beginning to have one. This is a very important revelation that I've just recently began to fully embody. It's one thing to understand something mentally, it's another thing to fully embody it. So a lot of times the reason our manifestations don't come is because of a lack of trust, but it's because, we're asking for something that we're not fully in alignment of because of the trauma that we have from our past. But another part is because of the fact that we haven't been seen, heard, understood, we don't really believe that the universe gets us. So the thing here to understand is imagine that there truly is some higher level of consciousness and intelligence that knows everything. It knows everything about you without you having to explain it or over-explain it. It's like as soon as you think of something, it knows not only what you think you want, but underneath what you think you want, what you truly want. It knows that. So we don't have to constantly argue with the reality, with the universe. A lot of times we the manifestation's not coming, I need to ask again and again and again and again. Well, that, like I said, it comes from two things. It comes from the lack of discernment and clarity within ourselves and our trauma and not feeling worthy of the things that we want. But it also comes from not deeply knowing it's already done. Everything is already seen, heard, felt, understood, and reciprocated instantly by the universe in the moment. It's the most important aspect, or one of the most important aspects of trusting. And when you begin to tap into this flow and this energy, it's like you kind of know that in each moment, regardless of what you say with your mind, regardless of what you ask for, it's already there for you. The pathways we need to take to grow, to evolve, and get to where we want are right there in the moment, and they're already known. And the way you get to this knowing is through feeling. It's through feeling and intuition. It's not from asking or stating with your mind. So now I'm going to do a really quick activation so that you can begin to tap into this knowing. So you can just take a moment, maybe close your eyes, just notice your feet on the floor, just notice your body, kind of notice what you're feeling, and just give permission, first off, for anything that's blocking your connection to trust or higher consciousness to gently come up and release. And know that you don't need to figure out every single thing. It is important to sit down and journal and to clarify and learn about ourselves. That's a very important part of the healing process. But first, on a deeper level, just know that something is already bringing that up and releasing it. Your subconscious mind, your higher self, already knows all of the things that will benefit you to release right now. And all you have to do is give permission. Just allow everything that's ready to leave. And then the next thing we're going to do is activate that feeling of trust within your body, which isn't exactly, it's not exactly what we think. It's like I said, it's just that knowing that something knows. It's that knowing that something, some higher level of consciousness and intelligence knows everything about you. Everything that you want, you think, you feel is seen, heard, and understood in the moment without you having to do or clarify everything. And just see if you can let that sort of vibration or visceral feeling or sensation come up in your body. And where do you feel that? Something already knows. It's like, hey, it's like walking up to somebody being like, hey, I would like, and then you're like, I already know. You don't need to say anything. I already know what you're thinking. I already know what you're feeling. I already know what you want, and it's done. It's good. It's like, I got you. What would that feel like? And just see if you can feel like the safety that occurs in your body. Because we don't want to trust every single person that we see or institution, but you do want to trust on a deeper level that everything has its purpose, its place, is a reflection of this higher consciousness. And when you're tapped into that direct flow, those things will just kind of bounce off, and you will be brought to the spaces that are best for you. And just give permission for that to land and activate. And just feel it kind of come all the way down to the top of your head, or wherever it's coming up. Notice it in your feet, in your hands. And just maybe repeat the phrase like, I know that I know. I know that the universe knows. It's like, I know that the universe knows and has my highest good and highest interest in mind. Great. Well, it's done. I'm going to wrap up right now. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, comments, revelations, breakthroughs, please let me know in the comment section below. I have a free energy clearing also in the description. If you want to download that, it will help you go deeper into some of these patterns that are blocking, trust, clarity, alignment, manifestation. Other than that, thank you so much. I look forward to next time. I really very much appreciate everybody who watches these videos, and I'll see you later.